need him to do. I got a message just for you. You gotta hold on and be strong. Cause it ain't over. It ain't over. Oh, I got a story to tell you about what God has done for me. Y'all, He healed me from breast cancer 14 years later. I'm a living testimony. I don't know what you need Him to do. God sent me here just to tell you, you gotta hold on and be strong. Be strong. It ain't over. It ain't over. See, God, all I'm trying to tell somebody today, it ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over. I don't care. It ain't over. It still ain't over. It ain't over. You gotta trust Him. It ain't over. And never doubt Him. It ain't over. Knowing that God, it ain't over, will bring you out. It ain't over. I don't care what you're going through. It ain't over. Going through the storm. It ain't over. Going through the rain. It ain't over. It still ain't over. It ain't over. It still ain't over. It ain't don't you ever give up. It ain't don't you ever give in. It ain't sometimes you have to cry, but it ain't over. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Don't you ever give up. Hold on. Don't you count God out. Hold on. You got to hold on. Hold on. You got to keep on praying. Hold on. You got to keep on trusting. Hold on. You got to keep on reading. Hold on. Reading God's word. It ain't over. Cause it ain't over. It ain't I want you to know it ain't over. It ain't over. Sure ain't over. It ain't over. They that wait on the Lord, they shall renew. It ain't over. Renew the strength. It ain't wait on the Lord. It ain't don't you give up. It ain't don't give up on your children. It ain't don't give up on your family. It ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't God got it all in control. I said, wait on the Lord. Wait on it. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Don't you go nowhere. Hold on. You got to stay right there. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Trust Him and never doubt. Knowing that He will bring you out. It ain't over. 'Cause it ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Welcome to the Issues of Life broadcast with your host, Evelyn Reid. This show will address health, religious, and political issues that our communities face daily. Let's go live into the studio with your host, Evelyn Reid, for the Issues of Life broadcast, right here on the Glory 107.9 FM, 980 AM, WDDO.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Issues of Life by Evelyn Reid, and she's not with us today. So today I am your host. My name is retired Brigadier General Jonathan McCullum, former United States Army, 35 years, and also clergy. And with me today, I have also an extraordinary gentleman, also a veteran, Reverend Warren Hamilton. How you doing today, Reverend Hamilton?
Doing great. How y'all doing out there in radio land?
Excellent, man. I tell you what, we are now. I hope you're doing well, and I would hope that not many of you are out shopping till you drop. We have 2 more days, or at least 1 more full day left until Christmas. And we know we want everything to be just right, and it's just around the corner. So y'all take it easy out there. Be real careful in your shopping. Today, I think we have an interesting topic, and we want to ask you to, if you'd like to join in and to be a part of the discussion today, you can give us a call. We'll give you the number up front. The number is 478 250 1444. Again, that number is 478 250 1444. Today's topic, today we're gonna go ahead and prepare ourselves for the upcoming year, as God graces us with an upcoming year, and being His will, we make it into the year. There are certain things that we saw in 2025, or that we're looking at in 2025. I'm asking the question today: what changes do you want to see in general that will take place in 2026? What would you like to see differently? What do you want to see change in your environment, in your community, in your church, in your homes, in your country? What changes do you want to suggest? And we're going to talk about that this afternoon, and we invite you to be a part of this. And if you want to, you're welcome. So, Reverend Warren, we'll start. We've seen a lot in 2025. We take note that in 2026, it's going to be a big year, as it is our country's 250th anniversary. So we expect a lot of celebration taking place next year. And also, we have so many other changes. We've lost a lot of people whom are familiar to us. George Foreman is a name that we've lost. I believe Roberta Flack is the name of someone we lost. And we lost so many others, but we know that life keeps going. Even if you've lost a loved ones, we're going to leave some people, but we know that God knows exactly what He's doing. So we're going to start off. Reverend Hamilton, what do you think? We've got this big year coming up. What do we need to do differently? What are some suggestions for 2026?
I would like to see nationwide revivals. You know, when I was a kid, my mom and them used to have this guy, preacher, evangelist, whatever it was. He would come by once a year, and he would set up a tent over in this particular area. I mean, every year at the same time, he would show up. And he wouldn't only preach, he would teach. I would like to see 2026 to where all of God's servants and believers in Jesus Christ to know more about Christ, know about the Bible. It's a lot of people go to church, and there's a lot of people are knowledgeable, and they got degrees in this and degrees in that. But you'd be surprised how many people go to church on Sunday, put their Bible on the nightstand, and never pick it up to the next Sunday. We preach and we teach, but the best time to learn and to teach and learn your people is on Bible studies and Sunday schools. Now, you're going to spend time either teaching them or arguing with them. And I heard this guy say, God's word is like gold, right? And if you go hunting gold, you got to dig in the ground. You got to find that gold. It's just, sometimes it lays on streams and places above ground, but most of the time, the big load is underground. So you have to dig. Same way with God's word, to get a good understanding to where you can apply it to your life, put it in your mind and in your heart and live it. You got to study that word. You got to dig in there and get that word out. The Bible is God's plan for humanity. I'm not trying to say people don't. I just think we need to do more. And I think in 2026, me, myself, and I'm going to do a whole lot more studying.
All right, let it start with me.
Yes.
Well, I tell you what, I got to agree with you. And I would say at the top of my list, I would just say it like this. You say you're sure that people are, and that people do study, and we do know that.
Yes.
But we can also say there is some evidence that there is also some absence of what we might call the biblical worldview, meaning that God's people perhaps don't really understand or know God's purpose, His plan, and what He desires for us. Are we tracking on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. See, I think the Bible tells us what God wants us to do and how to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And sometimes you may be able to read one thing and get what you need, and I can read the same thing and get what I need.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't read it, sometimes you miss it.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right about that, and I think that it's easy to do if you're not consistent in that study. I would say that along with your intent, I would say that our absence from the church is becoming more evident.
Yes.
I believe the church somehow allowed itself to be frightened by this disease or this event called COVID. And COVID has run so many Christians away from the church that it's almost like a test. Did we pass the COVID test?
Tests.
And while we took the literal COVID test, did we pass God's COVID test?
Amen. This
Does that make sense?
Make plenty of sense. And also, I can remember when I was a kid, elementary school, we said the Lord's Prayer,
Mhm.
American Allegiance to the flag,
Mhm.
and then we would start our day. And this is me talking. Sometimes I might say too much. Sometimes I don't say enough. But when we took prayer out of schools,
Mhm.
we let the devil in.
Right.
All right. We need to get back to praying.
Yeah. Well, I call that. I call it, and the listening audience, you'll hear more about that from me. And I guess I don't mind. I can talk that I am running for the Georgia U.S. Senate, and my theme is back to the basics, and back to the basics is just that. It is remembering and being mindful of those things that helped us to be successful and to bring us this far. And I'm so afraid that we have forgotten some of those basic fundamentals. And some of those fundamentals, you've mentioned just this really big one. We talk about the church and how you can, in most churches, some churches have closed down, and people are at home worshiping, or quote unquote, I'll just say quote unquote worshiping, when they're forsaking the assembly at the house of worship. And God says He's a jealous God, and He wants us to worship Him. So I would agree with you. I hope that in 2026, that as we prep in 2025, that we can have a mind and a heart for God and godliness, and such that on that January, as soon as January 1st, and we can even start right now, find a church, a Bible teaching, Bible preaching church, and run to it as fast as you can. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. My grandma used to tell me, if you talk to God, He'll talk to you. and like I said, I'm guilty. My older children, I got some children in their 50s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guilty of not making them pray sometime late at night before they went to bed,
Mm-hmm.
before they sit down and ate their dinner this evening, because I was too busy making the money
Right.
to try to provide for them. And sometimes I didn't get there when it's time to eat. But ladies and gentlemen, teach your kids.
Mm-hmm.
Teach your kids how to say thank you, Jesus.
That's right.
You know, because it's so many people around it. United States has its problems, okay? But it's still with the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely.
I've been out of United States in 2 or 3 different continents. And you wouldn't believe how these people live.
Right.
Some of them don't have fresh water, very little food. I mean, it's just, I don't see how they do it, but they do. They survive in the best way they can.
Mm-hmm.
But here in the United States, it's still, no matter how bad it looks on the 6 o'clock news or the 7 o'clock news, no matter what Congress or the Senate does, it's still the best country in the world.
I gotta agree with you there. We both spend enough time outside of the United States, and we can both know that. And I don't know how this sounds, and I hope it doesn't sound brash, but a lot of people outside of the United States would love to have our bad versus what their bad. And I'm not trying to not trying to say that anybody who's going through something bad in the United States, you're not. You are going through some things, and I understand that. But I want you to know that there are some people who are living in miserable conditions. And we want God, even for 2026, we would like the blessings of God over those other nations. And the more they accept godliness and then learn to build on their own. That's why everybody can't come to the United States of America. There's just not enough resources for everybody, but it's the United States also going to them to help them live their lives, grow crops, build industry, and do those kinds of things. We're talking here at the issues of the day, this issues of life. My name is Jonathan McCollum. You can give us a call at 478-250-1444. That's 478-250-1444. We're talking right now, we're making plans for 2026, and we're asking the questions, what changes or what new, what can we do differently as we prepare to go into 2026? I've got another one there, and I believe that we hit the top one, that is wishing that, especially starting with the church, that we will have a biblical worldview, and it will better us. I have another one. Both of us have something in common. We're both veterans. And in 2026, I don't know, what do you think about this? I'm looking forward to the point where veterans can receive better support, more robust support, as only 1% of the population in the United States serves in the military. And many of them have gone off to war and gone to and seen combat or served in harsh environments, and their lives have been, the upheavals of their lives have been different, and now they're back. Some just got out of the military, others retired from the military. So I would like to see veterans really taken care of. As a veteran myself, I've had the experiences of long delays to be seen, to receive medical, to make medical appointments, and we have some other things. Now let me see. We're doing better, but I think we can do a little bit better. And I'd like the audience. I would ask the audience, what do you think about that? Are we doing okay? Can we do better for the veterans? What do you think?
I'm a veteran, and I think they can do better because coming back sometime from where we've been in conflicts or whatever you want to call them, we have to be reprogrammed on how to live, because it does something to you. I had problems when I first came back, and some of my problems still stem today, but they can teach you, they can help you to deal with whatever the problem is and be productive. And I think we're not doing enough of this. Some of the veterans is on the street. If a man was willing to put his life on the line for his country, the country needs to help him.
That's right.
And I don't think we're doing enough for our veterans. But 2026, I think Congress, whoever, the United States, need to put more effort in getting these people the help they need.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, I agree with that, and there is so much to do. I'm glad that we have certain educational benefits to help those who maybe have gotten out early, and then we can also do some other things that can probably help veterans financially in their support, help them to in their housing, when it comes to housing, and there's nothing worse than seeing and watching a veteran suffer on the streets. I just think that our nation is bigger than that. I think our nation is better than that. So I think we can do something about that for veterans. We know overall that housing issue, there is a larger housing issue problem, but I do think that we can make some inroads, and we can use private-public partnerships. I would think we don't always have to have a 100% government solution, but we can use a myriad of possibilities of possible scenarios to help our veterans. How what do you think?
I think the same. I really believe some of the guys come back, they are broken, and we've got to make every effort we can to fix them. I'm not saying let's just throw a bunch of money at them. I'm talking about their minds, their physical body, their health. You know, we've got to do better, because if I believe love is the key. We got to love our brothers and sisters unconditionally,
Right.
to the point to where if we know they're hungry, we got to feed them.
Yeah.
If they don't have a place to lay their head, we got to try to help them find somewhere to lay their head.
Right.
So I'm not just saying just take a bunch of money and throw it at the vets.
Oh, no.
I'm talking about help them, fix what's broken.
Right, and I think that we have to underscore that. And I see Hatcher with this whore. We appreciate that. We know that's an army. That's a strong army right there. So I agree with you that often we hear the government spends and throws money, and that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're talking about providing, not just providing the funding, but providing the oversight so that we can ensure that the right money goes to the right people for the right causes at the right times in their lives. That's what we're talking about, so that we don't have the waste that we see in government spending. And we want to try to eradicate or avoid that. And the best way to do that is to have good oversight in the Veterans Administration. And I agree with you.
And also I must say this, that they've made some difference. They made some changes, and they trying to help. I'm not saying they're not helping, and I'm not bashing them. It's just that we need to focus on more help, specific help rather than just more help. Specific. I go down to Dublin periodically, and it makes me feel bad to see some of them guys walking up and down the hall talking to themselves, and I mean, it's just heartbreaking to me. And here's a young man, a young woman, has left their home and went across the ocean to do whatever Uncle Sam asked them to do, and they did it, and they came back, and it looked like the world is turning their back on them. And that's not the case, really. It's just that I think we need to focus a little bit more on more help.
I agree.
Not just help, but specific help. What do this guy need? What do this young lady needs?
Right. And I think you're right and spot on. So there's a little responsibility to it. And the other part of that is that those veterans, if you're listening to me out there is a part that you have in this fight also. And that is, you've got to go get the help that's out there, that's available to you. It's out there. There are a lot of possibilities and a lot of veterans organizations that are out there that are in Georgia or all over the United States that are available to help you, but you've got to try to get there. And I believe that if you can get there, someone is willing to help you out.
Amen. They definitely will.
Yeah. And that feeds on to another one. Do you have something else you want to add? I've got a litany of things I want to see change in 2026. And by the way, if anybody has any more questions or concerns or any additions, even on the conversation about the veterans need, feel free to give us a call, 478-250-1444. That's 478-250-1444.
Oh, go ahead.
So there's some, and from the veterans point, we talked about an issue last week, and that issue was mental health. We talked about the need for maybe reconsidering we talked about the Central State Hospital concept that would help both veterans and everybody else. And I see that we see I see a Hatcher out there that even in all that we try to do, we note that veterans, and we know that even the public operates often in a bureaucracy, and that bureaucracy is painful. When you want to just all you need is a prescription, and it takes 2 days to get a prescription or just to get it written. So we know that probably one of the things that we can wish for again in 2026, but not just in the medical realm, but trying to minimize or mitigate this bureaucracy, having that's so discouraging to some to get things done. You know what I mean? Minimizing the length of the bureaucracy can be a big help. How does that sound to you, Reverend?
Sounds great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we need to do exactly what need to be done. Now, sometimes we say, well, it's nothing going to happen. Ain't nobody going to do nothing. We got to do it.
That's right.
You can't pass the buck. And sometimes I might just have been guilty of not doing enough. But we can't just sit back and wish for somebody else to do it.
But why don't we do this? Why don't we say in 2026 that another real big thing that we want to see change is that we want individuals to take responsibility a little bit more for their lives. We know you're busy. We know you're struggling. You know you're trying to do the best. You're waking up, you're catching the bus to go to work, and some of you have to walk to work. But we want to ask individual responsibility. What do you think about that? Because there is much out there available for you, but you got to go get it.
Well, it's one thing for sure. If you don't go get it, you might not have it.
You got to go get it.
You got to make an effort. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I tell you what, there's another big idea on my mind right now. We know that we're struggling. We have a housing affordability problem. So I'm going to throw that out right now. We know that housing is so expensive right now to acquire a home. And we know that there are young people who have decent jobs and can actually afford homes, but the prices of homes have increased so much that they're out of the realm of affordability. To acquire a home, the interest rates are slowly coming down, but not to the point where they're affordable, and that a basic home is so very costly. So for 2026, we're hoping that something will happen that will make homes a little bit more affordable for the average person. Do you have your own home, Rev?
Yes, I do.
I tell you what. So I'm kind of empathetic toward the young people today who want to buy a home. Mm-hmm. Because they are so expensive, especially those who you finish college or you finish a technical skill. And by the way, everybody didn't have to go to college. There are so many technical skills. If you don't believe it, I dare you to call an electrician. You'll see how much they charge. So I would love to ask those of you who are out there. Are homes affordable for you? What are solutions, and what do you think about this home and housing problem, and even its cost?
Well, I believe they're too high for sure. It's so many people. There used to be a time you could buy a house with a couple of acres. Now you don't. They're so expensive. A couple of acres, it's you spending $300,000 and some $1,000 on a house, and you don't have no yard.
That's right.
And I don't know what we're gonna do about that particular problem, but somebody needs to try to figure a way where some of these young people that's coming out of college, for them not to be in debt before they get out of college, first of all, then they might be able to buy a home and be able to maintain until they get on the right track of life. But most of the kids nowadays, not most, some, when they graduate, they're already in debt.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would agree with you. And I think maybe perhaps some of those classes are missing in high school. I think we need to have or return to a funding or basic funding. We had a class when I was in junior high called Program Education Career Exploration, called PECE. And in that class, we learned some of the basics of savings and checkbooks and accountability and some of those things. I don't know that that's taking place right now, but that can help. Better home affordability. So I believe that if we could just perhaps teach our kids to be accountable toward that end and to avoid some of the pitfalls, perhaps by the time they've graduated from college or high school, that they won't have themselves already find themselves in so much debt from what we call credit cards and some of the other. What do you think?
Well, I don't think it's so much that. Personally, I think that the systems are set up for a young male or young female coming out of an inner city community. Parents doesn't have the finances, so they have to take alternatives. Mm-hmm. So what they do, they take school loans, and these school loans are Oh man, they're very, very. I want to say high in payback,
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
and then when they uh, do graduate, the first thing these people want is their money to lend them to get the education.
Right.
And so if they get married, it might be both students on the educational
Having debt in
yeah.
debt, yeah. Well, I tell you what, we do want to see that. So perhaps I believe that once interest rates come down, that will make home affordability a little bit better. Other than that, the major problem that we have is inflation. We had the highest inflation probably maybe 2 years ago, went up to 9%. The problem with inflation is that when price of goods and services go up, they seldom come down or slowly come down. So I think we have that problem, and we have the high interest rates. So I think that over time, that perhaps the interest rates, once the interest rates have settled a little bit, maybe that'll make them a little bit more affordable, and hopefully the prices will also begin to come down, will decrease on goods and services. So we hope we can do something about home affordability also in 2026. Hatcher came back with us and said that he tried to get in. So sorry you couldn't get in, Hatcher, but he says he wants to see some change in our schools. He says, I've heard from so many kids and parents lately, and we need to eliminate barriers to education. And I think he has a very good point that barriers to education, especially when we throw so much money at education and the outcomes are not there, it can be problematic later on. What do you say?
I agree.
Mhm.
Uh, Education nowadays, to me, looks like it's second. You know, if you're a ball player, tennis player, track,
Mhm.
some kind of athlete, you know, they come and get you. They sign you up, bring you to their school, pay for your books, your room, board, everything. But a kid that's making an A student very seldom gets a full ride.
Mhm.
Some do. I'm not saying they all. But what I'm saying is nowadays, even the children that they can perform on the field or on the basketball court,
Right.
before they even make it to the next level, they get millions of dollars.
That's true.
They call it the MIA money or some kind of money. So the kid leaves high school, he gets into college, and he won't play for this college unless they pay him to play.
Right.
Well,
Right.
back in my day, it was amateur athletics. College was.
Right.
So
What do you think about this? That we know that kids are graduating, but they're not graduating with as though they learned anything from school or learned critical basic tenets. What do you think? I believe that there's a note. It's noted out there. What do you
I was
think?
getting ready to say that because I'm a living testimony. Maybe I'm telling on myself, but it's the fact that uh, when I graduated from high school, I was playing football, and I went to college, and I didn't even have to go to class.
Mm.
And that's the reason why I didn't make it. I don't have a degree today.
Reverend, don't mention the name of the school. You
I'm
might get us in trouble.
I'm not. But what I'm saying is, as long as I showed up for football practice, that was great.
Yeah. You're right.
And I had a tutor. He make sure my work got turned in.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, we're not doing that person any good. Now, I give God the glory. I've done great. I've done well. I live well.
Right.
He my blessings overflows. You know that I have no complaints.
Okay.
I just saw some faults. I could have done better. And I can't blame nobody. I'm talking about me.
Yeah. Well, I hear you real good. I believe we have a caller. Call. Do you have any suggestions, any questions for us? Go ahead.
Hey, this is Hatcher. I finally got through.
Hey,
I
how are you?
appreciate y'all talking about the school stuff.
Yes, most excellent. Go ahead with this. What can we do better? How can we better diagnose this problem that we have with this education thing?
Well, I think it starts with knowing what's actually going on. I have a lot of concerns that the data that's being reported as far as like incidents or trouble or difficulties that are happening in classrooms aren't getting bubbled up appropriately, like all the way up to both the district and the state level. And also just general transparency with, how money's being spent and what's working and what's not working. Because you can't understand where a problem is until you can see it, and then you can't know if you solve the problem until you can measure it.
Hey, that's exactly right. What Hatcher? So let me pose a question to you since I have you aboard. Do you think that with the reduction or the removal of the Department of Education and then passing the responsibility of education to the state level to give the states that responsibility, do you think that will give us that will rid the bureaucracy and the states can do this thing better? What do you think, Caller?
Well, I think fundamentally that decisions are best made at the closest level to who those decisions affect. So, I don't know that I necessarily agree with how this is being executed, but from a big picture standpoint, I feel like lots of times with education, we're so caught up with meeting some standard that's coming down from federal or state rather than educating our local students for what they need here in Bibb County.
Good. Most excellent. And thank you, Hatcher, for hanging on in there and calling in with us. I agree with you that that the best way to manage and direct something, it's a military tenet, as a matter of fact, is at the local level.
Yeah, I agree.
And at that municipality, at that local level, where the parents, if the parents would get involved in the education process and the local teachers aligned with the administration, and instead of the administration being at odds or at fist and bump with the teachers and all others, I believe that we could figure out how to do this just a little bit better. But it does require that continuity of effort, I believe, between those three entities: parents, teachers, administration, and et cetera.
I also agree because at that local level, we can have a better understanding what's going on in a particular school or what we need to do in a particular school. If you're talking about the federal level, they so far out, they're looking at the bigger picture. And sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. But I believe if you kept it at the state level and be sincere about our jobs and getting things done properly, I think we'll do better for our schools and students learning more.
Okay, I think also, Hatchet, are you running for an office?
Did you pick up on that? Yes,
You can go ahead.
I'm going to be running for a Bibb County School Board for the at-large position next year, for the election next year.
Okay, well, audience, you've heard. Okay, well, you've heard from last name Hatcher. He's had the opportunity to share his concerns, and I would look his name up, and see what he's all about. And I tell you what, I do agree with you about the local level support. I'm sure there's much more to it, but we're glad that you're out and already reaching out and talking to the public at large to try to make that difference in education.
Oh yes.
So,
thank you
Good luck.
for talking with me.
Yeah, good. Well, look, do the best you can. I know what that is. I've got to do the same thing. So all the best, Godspeed with you while you're out there. And as what you're doing is part of the greatness in America. And that's what we try to do. There are a couple, we have a few more minutes. Thank you for calling in, Hatcher. We have a few more minutes left. I've got there are a couple other things. We want to see so many things better in 2026. I'll tell you a couple at the top of my mind. I would love to see our nation, and probably we mentioned it earlier, I'd love to see our nation return to this oneness, to one nation under God. We said in our documents, in our historical documents of time, that we are one nation under God. It's written in songs that we sing. It's in our pledges. It's in the Declaration of Independence, mentioned as the Creator. It seems sometimes, that we can separate ourselves on maybe some disagreements. But what do you think? What do you think, Reverend Hamilton? I'd love to see us become once again one nation under God and allow God to be the common denominator of all of us. to try to see if we can work together, because it seems like there's so many people that would rather see us split and not working collectively. What do you think?
I think that's wonderful. One nation under God. That was put there for a reason, and we used to kind of function that way. But over the years, it looks like we slipped away from that. But anyway, I agree with you. We need to function one nation under God. The key is God.
Mm-hmm.
If God's in you, you can't do anything and everything, and you will love your brother and your sister, and things will come out a whole lot better than without God in it.
Absolutely. Well, I tell you what, the Bible tells us, "Blessed is the nation whose God is Lord." And so we all know in Georgia, in Georgia alone, I'm not sure if we have an audience, and I'm sure we do an audience beyond Georgia, but I know that Georgia is comprised of 67% Christian. And if those Christians would come together and honor God and say that we will allow ourselves, we will declare one nation under God, I believe that we can better everything ourselves in every fundamental area, and that color will no longer be important. The color of somebody's skin,
Amen.
or the background, or where they came from, or etc. That the only thing that matters is that we are all aiming in the same direction, and we'll stop shooting pop guns, our own pop guns, at each other, and then worry about shooting our ammunition at the enemies so I believe one nation of God, if we could somehow focus on that, I will make the declaration in 2026 to be a part of that one nation under God concept. What do you think, Rick?
I think if God is not in it, we can't win it. Everything moves by the power of God. I believe if we go, that's why I was talking earlier about nationwide revivals.
Mm-hmm.
We if we get back to praising God and serving God and loving each other the way God wants us to love and serve one another, what a wonderful world this would be.
Mm-hmm.
I challenge those who's listening to go back to the Bible and read the Bible, not just to read it, but to understand it, place it in your heart and in your mind, and try to live it the way God wants you to. You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah. And we hope that not that perhaps Georgia can start this fire where the oneness of Georgians, that the only thing that matters is I'm a Georgian, not I'm a black Georgian or a white Georgian or I'm a Jewish Georgian. But the only thing that matters is that I'm a Georgian. And then we take that to another level where we say I'm an American. I'm not an African American or a white American or Irish American. I'm just an American. And when we're there, I think that we're well on our way. So so for 2026, I would love to see us have that oneness in Georgia, and that we're able to, even if personally, drop some of our own personal likes or dislikes, so that we can associate ourselves with someone who may be a little bit different than me. Mm-hmm. I tell you what, we've got a little bit of time left. I have one more, and I would say in 2026, I would love that we have a little bit more respect for the rule of law. And when I say the rule of law, I say that not that we all do everything right, but I believe that we can easily destroy ourselves when we don't have some semblance of law. That all of us, the only way to live together is that we've got to have some kind of respect for law. Because when we don't, people are hurt. And, we keep hearing the sad news. I mean, as we were talking, remember the 18-year-old guy that was shot over a week ago, and we're so sorry for that family and praying for both those families, actually. But the rule of law, simple things like it's not all right to steal something from somebody. It's not all right to take advantage of someone just because it's dark outside. It's not all right to cheat somebody out of their money. It's not all right that when you're making billions and you're paying people pennies that you got to have, but that's not a law. That's something that you have to work personally. But I'm talking the rule of law that has to stand if we're going to be able to get along with each other.
Brother and sister, no law brings chaos. So law is good if it's applied the right way.
Applied the right way.
And sometimes I tell my sons and grandsons, be respectable. Police stop you, talk to him like a human being.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get mad and say something out of the way. Don't call him out his name. But law is good. Without law, just think, law is not for me and you. It's for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't have law, you won't be able to go to sleep at night.
Right. And the law enforcers, like you and I, they want to go home too. I can't believe that that it is their intent to cruise around and see whom can we oppress. You know, there you will find some bad apples every now and then, but I do believe that we can just do a little bit better. Just do a little bit better with the
a whole lot
law.
better in my book. But anyway, you know me,
You might be right. A whole lot. We can do a whole lot better. And that means instilling that into our children and into our environments and in talking about it at church, and especially with the media. The media can do a little bit better to help us out on that, talking about the rule of law and not going against it just because you support or don't support someone. What do you think?
I think he should. If you see something wrong, I'm not telling you to be a squealer, but you owe it to yourself to tell the truth. You know, it's the difference between squealing and telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say that, and I'm going to close my mouth with these words. To all the listeners out there, have a Merry, Merry Christmas, and may God bless you and yours.
The same thing. We want to thank you for joining us. We thank you, Hatcher, for joining us. I believe he said votehatcher.com. We also want to thank those of you who are listening to this audience and listen to this this show continuously. And we bless you. And we wish you a very, very Merry Christmas. And we also wish you a Happy New Year as you get ready to move into this new year. And of course, we want to thank you. And of course, thank you for being the best part of WDDO, Macon, Georgia. And we hope that you'll just, again, have a great Christmas. Love up on the people who are coming around you. And even when they get a little bit of Drano inside of them, just love up on them anyway.
Be sure to tune in every Tuesday from 4:15 to 4:45 p.m. as she addresses the health, religious, and political issues that our communities face daily, right here on the Glory 107.9 FM, 980 AM, WDDO.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.